Good morning, students. Today we discuss the lesson The Adventures of Toto. The story narrates the adventures that followed after the narrator's grandfather, who was an animal lover, bought Toto a monkey. The story begins with grandfather buying Toto a Tonga driver for 5 rupees. Toto was pretty and looked so out of place that grandfather decided to add him to his private zoo. He was, however, afraid of grandmother, who did not like him bringing home as many pets as he liked. So the narrator and grandfather brought Toto home and decided to keep him a secret from grandmother. The narrator, at one point in the story, reads that if there is a part of the brain specially devoted to mischief, that part was largely developed in Toto. Toto, on his first day, ripped open the peg to which he was tied, shredded the narrator's blazer, and tore up the wallpaper that grandfather had chosen for the walls. Toto was then transferred to the servants' quarters where he lived with the other pets. Usually, most of grandfather's pets got along well with each other. To prevent further such issues, grandfather decided to take Toto with him to Dehradun. He and Toto made it through most of the trip without any incident, but at the railway turnstile, Toto suddenly poked his head out of the bag and scares that ticket collector. The ticket collector thought Toto was a dog and charged poor grandfather 3 rupees extra. Grandmother finally accepted Toto and gave him a comfortable home at stable. However, when grandfather came to stable to make sure that Toto was comfortable, he saw poor Nana struggling because Toto had jumped on her head and bitten her ears. Toto loved the warm baths that grandmother prepared for him. It was a treat for him. He would expertly check the temperature of the water and then enter the bath on foot at a time. Then he would soak and soap himself. Once he almost boiled himself because he did not realize that the kettle was still on the fire. When everyone entered the dining room, they saw Toto sitting on the table and stuffing himself with rice. He threw a plate at grandmother, who had screamed at him. Then Toto jumped out the window with the dish of pulao. He climbed all the way up the jackfruit tree and ate all the rice while everyone watched. And finally, to take revenge on grandmother, who had screamed at him, he threw the dish down the tree and laughed when it broke into pieces. This incident made everyone, especially grandfather, realize that they could not keep Toto for a long. he was becoming very expensive for them to keep because he kept destroying things. So, grandfather took Toto back to the Tonga driver, but he couldn't only sell him back for 3 rupees only. Thank you.